You're gonna fail your New Year's resolution unless you buy my $7,000 YouTuber Academy course on... Yeah. I don't have a course. I'm not selling the course. Please don't think I have a course to sell. We cool? We cool. Over half of Americans make New Year's resolutions, but only around 10% actually keep them. We aim to lose weight, read more, learn an instrument, get fluent in the language, learn how to make lasagna. The list goes on. The thing is that all of these things are outcomes, not ways to achieve those outcomes. How do we turn the goal that we want for a New Year's resolution and turn it into something we can actually do so that we don't fail it? Because we're past the first month of the year. Most of you have probably already stopped your New Year's resolutions, but it's never too late to give it another go, because even if you have failed once, you just gotta get back on the horse. So again, how do we get our New Year's resolutions to work? These are some things that have worked for me so far in keeping my New Year's resolutions thus far. I'm not gonna claim to be an expert on self-improvement or anything, but these are all things that have worked for me. The first thing being, working backwards from your goals and focusing on your habits. There's a bunch of books that go over this particular subject, so I'm not gonna go too in detail about the science or whatever behind it, but let's say your goal is to read more. What does more mean? Is it a certain number of books in a year? Is it making a habit of reading a certain number of minutes per day or per week? These are details you really need to figure out so that your goal isn't a nebulous blob of dream goo. I keep that in, Andy. Dream goo? You're weird. Now that you're thinking about what your goal actually means, what's your time frame? How are you achieving that goal? What days of the week or times of the day can you take steps to move forward? And are you subscribed to my channel? That'll definitely make your goal happen, being subscribed to me, Andy. Most importantly, how much coffee will you need to have the energy to do all of this? Jokes aside, let's break it down with something that I'm doing as a New Year's resolution, which is getting fluent in a language. Fluency is a fluid concept. What is the context that you want to be fluent in your language of choice? Is it basic conversational fluency? Is it academic? Is it being a native speaker level? Is it just being able to ask where the bathroom is? These are some things you need to define in your goal, especially if it's something like learning a language. My language goal is reaching basic conversational fluency in Norwegian by the end of the year. Now, working backwards from there, how will I study? I'm starting with Duolingo and books. Next, how much do I need to study per day? I did the math and found that I have to do 2 Duolingo skills per day to 100% complete the Duolingo Norwegian language tree by early December, and 2 skills of that takes between 15 and 30 minutes a day. So cool, I've defined what actions I need to take, and I have a time frame for how much I need to do per day. Now, when exactly will I study each day? My most consistent free time is around 7 p.m., so that's when I usually do it. But I often do it earlier or later, but I get it done every day. I also will be slowly introducing some additional things to escalate the difficulty of what I'm doing, such as doing a chapter of my Norwegian little textbook per week, as well as hiring a tutor, which also will be a good way to measure my conversational ability. You can watch my video on that whole Norwegian plan for more details, and if you need inspiration for breaking down your own goal. We have the goal to get basic conversational fluency in Norwegian. We have the tasks to achieve that goal, which are Duolingo, reading books, and having tutoring lessons. And we know exactly how much needs to be done per day and week, with room to grow and increase that load. It also really helps that the Duolingo owl will kill me in my sleep if I miss 1 day of practice. So there's that too. It's a really great motivator. But if you want to keep Andy safe, you gotta subscribe. I'm being such a shill this video. The next thing that's really helping me is to start slow and ramp up from there. Now that we can break down the goal, you don't need to implement every single habit that you want to introduce all at once. That'll be too much and you'll burn out. A snowball starts small and grows the more it rolls. So if you have a bunch of goals, you don't need to do all of them at once. If you have like 7 or 8 things you want to do in the new year, you don't need to do all of them at once. I have a ton of big goals for 2021 and I am intentionally choosing to roll them out slowly. This will let my snowball, or my capacity to do productive habits, to grow, and I'll be more capable of adding more things on as the year goes forward. For example, one of my goals is to get healthy. I'm starting with diet adjustments like drinking less alcohol and avoiding fast food. And my next step is to develop a workout plan. If I were to do all of those things at once, which is the diet and the exercise all together, it would have been an overload for my little brain. My little brain is stupid and needs a lot of easing into these types of things. Start slow so you're not overwhelmed, like my little pea brain. Each good habit will build momentum for you to naturally pick up more. It's like how you level up in Skyrim from training smithing. You can apply that perk on any skill like archery, even if you've never trained archery. Your habit in training one thing can increase your capacity to train other things. And that's the whole idea of the start slow. My next strategy is to think smaller. It's great to dream big with your self-improvement and goals, but what can you realistically achieve right now? If you're going from having done no strength training in years to committing to an intense workout routine, you're gonna fail really fast and get really sore in the process. Instead, think smaller. Maybe commit to just doing a set of push-ups or going on even like a 5-minute walk per day. What you think you can commit to often exceeds what you actually can commit to. Build your small habits, keep them consistent, and grow them as your ability grows too. Of course, if you feel motivated to work harder, learn more, do more work, whatever, let it happen, but be sure to understand the difference between what you can do consistently without any motivation and what you can do with motivation. Don't act like you're level 100 when you're still only level 5. The last tip is to be sustainable. Why am I so focused on starting slow and thinking small? It's being sustainable. Everyone wants to make one decision to suddenly be the best version of themselves, but changes like that take time. Your best self might be able to work out an hour a day, read 45 minutes a day, do a bunch of crazy stuff, but your current self might not be able to do that yet. Your character is like level 20 now if you've been making some good changes, but you can't necessarily do the same stuff as someone who has bajillions of experience points in doing these things and is like level 9,000 and has like endgame gear and can like cast fireball for 0 magic. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's important to expand your limits, but if you're working harder than you can handle too frequently, your habits won't last. Going to the level 50 area when you're level 20 won't end well in a game, so why do we think it'll end well in real life? You might get a lot of experience from doing level 50 work, but you won't last long until you work up to it. Don't do too much too quickly, do just enough, slowly and steadily, and you'll level up along the way. Again, I will not call myself an expert on goal setting and habit forming. There are some amazing thinkers on that, like the book Atomic Habits or the Smart Goal System. However, the idea of working backwards, starting slow, thinking small, and being sustainable are exactly how I'm working on my New Year's resolutions, and it's worked for me 1 month in. Some of my New Year's resolutions include developing a meditation practice, refreshing and improving my Japanese, losing 30 pounds,
handling the existential dread,
fixing my sleep schedule, though I just saw a note in the script that I wrote this script at 1 a.m., so Andy, do better, creating a consistent content plan, and more. It's all about breaking those goals down into small habits you can do sustainably, and you'll grow over time. Again, this is what's working for me, and this is purely for entertainment purposes. If this type of content is helpful to you, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. I would love to know what all of your New Year's resolutions are, so let me know in the comments, and let's get this discussion going. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time. Bye!